Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the DaVon Lewis Shows. I'm covering AEW Dynamite. It's Wednesday night. Is anything that initially can happen when it comes to the realm of professional wrestling. Appreciate you guys coming through for a lovely live edition of AEW Dynamite, as is initially is the go home show leading up to Forbidden Door. Hopefully, you guys are having a phenomenal evening this evening, as things are looking real good when it comes to the initial card for AEW's Forbidden Door with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tonight's initial AEW Dynamite's card was listed as the following, as things are looking decent. We have the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club taking on LIJ. We also had Jay White in action taking on Ray Phoenix. And we also had Saraya, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay taking on Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shikawa. As well as we end up having Kyle O'Reilly in a technical battle with Zack Sabre Jr. We also had the main event tag team action of Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay taking on the Gates of Agony. I feel like this was a really decent, great match. You couldn't ask for anything better. The pace of everything from each single segment was smooth as it can be. Tony Khan did a phenomenal job of keep us truly invested when it came to everything that was initially on display for tonight for AEW Dynamite. Don't forget to hit that like and don't forget to hit the share button if you're a fan of professional wrestling. Appreciate you guys coming through for your following evening for this initial show. We're gonna start off with the show with everything that she broke down when it came tonight. We ended up having MJF coming out to pop the crowd with the opening segment of coming out. The crowd was chanting MJF throughout the whole entire time. He got a real great reaction over in Buffalo, as well as things that he broke down as he ended up having this decent promo of storytelling and everything about the business and so much more. We also ended up having an interruption from Daniel Garcia, who initially came down and shooted from the hip and did a really decent promo, but it was okay from my own hot take when it came to Daniel Garcia being into his own. But I feel like he's coming a lot better each and every single week as he finally developed and finding himself when it comes to initially being in that square circle. As things initially continue to break down between MJF and Daniel Garcia, we ended up having Will Ospreay making his appearance, and it was a great feat by seeing him coming out as well as he initially had the upstage things as Daniel Garcia and MJF set the tone for having a match directly at All In. But things initially broke down when it came to Will Ospreay initially uphanding MJF as setting up a match for next week for the initial championship, as Daniel Garcia is now going to be in line for initial championship. And this is probably going to be a banger between Will Ospreay and Daniel Garcia. As we know, this is going to be a back and forth technical match, and I look forward to seeing that next week as things progress afterwards from AEW's Forbidden Door. Things initially continue to be pushed as they initially got done from that initial segment. We had a word from Swerve Strickland, who was initially in the back, about Ospreay giving title shots before Forbidden Door. And is he down when it comes to situations? And initially, the bargain chips are looking nice when it comes to everything that initially continue to be pushed. And things are looking in the right direction when it comes to not only Ospreay's being a fighting champion, as well as Swerve initially stepping up to the plate as well. But I'm literally loving how everything is initially meshing together when it came to everything initially happened tonight on AEW's programming. For you guys that's tuning in on Twitter or Facebook, don't forget to give likes. It always helps the algorithm to get things appreciated and again pretty much have more people be involved. And don't feel free to engage if you like to conversate or carry a conversation or make sure my mic and everything is working smoothly. Feel free to jump over on YouTube, on my YouTube website, so I can know initially anything that's going on that may be having in a mishap, or if you guys can hear me clearly. As things continue to progress, we end up having the BCC making their way out for an initial entrance as they got ready for the open contest. As we had John Moxley, Claudio Castelloni, and Wheeler Yuta taking on LRJ of Shingo, Titan, and Himuro. This three-way was a really back and forth match. I really enjoyed it. I give this match initially maybe a 3 out of 5 stars, but it initially kept me still invested, and I enjoyed everything that came to it. Initially, all the players on the field initially were able to get off their signature spots, and things initially broke down when it came towards the end of the initial match, when we had a disqualification of things initially unfolded with, of course, you already know who came down to broke things up, as we ended up having a whole melee of different things initially breaking down when it came to John Moxley having his nail issues with initially getting ready for Naito, and as well as Yuta fighting with Shingo. It was a whole lot of back and forth when it came to initially everything initially broke down, as well as Brian Danielson stepping up to the plate, having a face-to-face off with his initial opponent for Forbidden Door, as things looking really good when it comes to him going against Shingo, which we know that's going to be a hard-hitting, strong style match. And I really look invested to seeing how things continue to progress when it comes to those two. But I'd like to know from you guys' perspective, are you feeling this match initially was being set up for the initial card for Shingo versus Brian Danielson, or as well as so many other players as Moxley's going to initially get his hands on Naito, and so many other big players on the field initially, with things initially continue to be broken down leading up to this pay-per-view. Then they head over to commercial break, and things initially continue to progress after the commercial break. The Bang Bang Gang make their way out for the ring, as well as Jay White's in action when it comes to initially being part of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And of course, he's taking on Rey Fenix. This match was decent. It was a lot of back and forth. I enjoyed this match to the highest degree. I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This initially kept me highly invested through the whole entire start of the match, and it left nothing unturned when it came to them initially at the channel. This is awesome. And things initially was really great when it came to initially everything that continued to progress. Of course, they went to the picture throughout the match, commercials and everything under the sun. But initially, Rey Fenix continued to be a great showcase when it comes to initially him being a part of the ring. Same when it comes to Jay White. Jay White's not someone you want to initially want to sleep on. But I enjoyed everything initially about this match when it came down to the ending, where we had Jay White pick up the initially victory with a lovely Blade Runner, and initially pick up the pinfall to advance into the Owen Hart tournament. As speaking as well as about the Owen Hart tournament, who you think the mystery person is initially going to be when it comes to the Young Bucks, initially missing the mystery person to be involved when it comes to following for the Owen Hart tournament next week. My hot pick is I think it's gonna be Adam Hangman Page initially align himself back with Elite, or they might do a twist and we ended up having someone we initially would thought we have Jack Perry being involved as well, and so many different twists and turns they can initially push for that. But Jack Perry's already gonna be involved in the TNT ladder match. So things can go so many different ways and hand in hand, leading up for the Elite having so many feuds when it comes to Team AEW, leading up to Blood and Guts, which I'm looking forward to that in a couple weeks, which is going to be our hard-hitting match, blood all over the place. Some people are going to not longer be the same when it comes to initially everything progress, but we know we're going to initially get a great programming from AEW standpoint. And this league just continue to be consistent like they have been for the past few weeks to continue to get the viewership back up. And I look forward to seeing where they stand in the long run when it comes to writing on the wall. Speaking of different things on the writing on the wall, including to the rumors of Shane McMahon, the story that happened last week and JR talking about it and so many people being involved. I would love to actually, from my opinion, I would love to see Shane McMahon being implemented and being involved, a part of AEW. I think he should be some kind of authority figure and pretty much kind of split it off so it gives Tony a break. Let Shane initially be the authority figure for Dynamite, and then have Tony Khan be the authority figure when it comes to Collision. So it kind of gives him a little break so he can focus on NFL on Sunday, so he can be like back to back. So he goes Saturday, flies out, and then goes ready for the football game on Sunday. But let's go ahead and get back into the nitty gritty of initially of Dynamite for tonight. The Bang 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 comes out to celebrate their win with then of course Christian Cage he steps out staring down the unified tag team trios as the Patriarch heads towards the ring and the champs invite Christian to step in the ring, but Christian decides better off of it, and then him and his crew retreat up the ramp after things initially continue to break down. Then we go to a backstage segment, which was a smooth transition. The Young Bucks was frustrated with the Claim beating them in a tag team eliminator last week, but before promising they retain their tag team championships, but they talked about the lead holding all the gold after for initially Forbidden Door, and things continue to progress with the wild card into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. They are initially run down the stagehand. Initially, everything in this continue to happen, and everybody that's being involved into the initial tournament, and where the Claim make their way out. Of course, for somebody for the response of the Bucks, as you see where they go into commercial break. Then initially, after they came back from the commercial break, things initially broke down with a decent promo back and forth of them talking back and forth. The Claim exposed the EVPs of who they really are, promising they're going to get their titles back. And it was a great little segment, but it was okay from my own partake. I wish it could have been a little bit implemented better, just in general. Something was feel like the key was missing when it came to that segment, but it was okay when it came to the Claim initially getting things underway and initially getting ready for things initially to break down. And of course, the more to the things initially broke down backstage, you had a promo from Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. And of course, Mark Briscoe continues to be the MVP of the whole entire segment of that initial team. But I enjoyed everything that Mark Briscoe continues to hit those little seeds. And it continues to keep me laughing and keep me highly invested for each and every single time that he's been involved. But as well as Kyle O'Reilly actually stepped up a little bit more this week, and I feel like he kind of got in more of his groove of now speaking up a little bit more, kind of getting into his groove of being more assorted into his mic skills. And I really started liking things of a little bit more of aggressive style of Kyle O'Reilly as he spoke directly, talk about Zack Sabre Jr. and partially shoot at him from the hip about his father and so much more. And then, of course, Orange Cassidy just kept it calm, cool, and collective the whole entire time. And they initially had ended that initial segment. Then things initially broke down as they got things underway for Toni Storm and Mariah May, and as well with Mina. The MVP of the night for that initial women's segment was Mariah May. She played devil's advocate of playing both sides of the fence, and she initially was involved of basically doing double entrance of coming out not only for Toni Storm but as well for Mina. And it was kind of a little cool little thing and kind of a little prop. But Toni Storm was okay about it. But when Tony Khan said that he had the best women edition, well, basically the best roster when it comes to the women's division, I felt like it kind of fell flat in this initial match because things initially fell off the rails when it came to everything that happened. Of course, they had to get us the little entertainment spot of the whole entire thing. Anna Jay, as well as Cameron and Saraya, made their way out as well. Being a new form tag team, I guess the now initially upgraded Outcast 2.0. And this match was a crash and burn, but it was okay for the was. It was a little bit more slow paced, but it still got the job done of keeping the match smooth, keeping things with no botches. As you see, new talent continue to find their own. As Cameron, Harley Cameron initially found her groove, initially finding her new way of trying to be involved when it comes to initially getting in the ring. And we starting to see her initially learning on the fly, kind of like in a similar situation of Maxine Dupree in WWE, who was initially transitioning her eyes. But it's now as we seeing Harley going through the same steps of beginning, initially now got to get more around that ring time, and initially she become great when it comes to the women's division. When it comes to Saraya, there's no stopping her. She's a true legend. Off the gate, she's doing her thing, and I appreciate everything that Saraya continues to do each and every single week. You have no complaints when it comes to Saraya. Saraya is always the MVP, always 5-star. When it comes to Anna Jay, always hotcakes when it comes to Anna Jay. Anna Jay always being her own. When it comes to Jack Perry, he got a good one on his hands, and I know a lot of people in their community really was talking about this situation when it came to her assets and so much more. But when it comes to the other side of the fence, when it came to Toni Storm, when it came to Mariah May and when it came to Mina Sakuraba. Things initially was okay in this match. It was a lot of back and forth. Look at this match, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a lot of hot tags, change moves, technical wrestling. Things initially kept me invested throughout the majority of this match. Things initially broke down after Tony Storm initially picked up that lovely victory by Sakuraba hitting that lovely Mina driver and Cameron and Pan Cameron. And initially, they all three of them initially pick up the victory. But the aftermath of the post match is really what the hidden story initially continued to progress as they were celebrating. Mariah May ended up giving both of them initially her comrades both champagne. Things broke down. Tony Storm gulped it up like it was nothing, like a hot glass of water. And then when it came to Mina, Mina took her time, sipped it up, and they initially hugged it out, and everything went smoothly. And then when soon as Tony Storm turned her back, Mina went for the bottle that was initially in the ice chest and was about to swing it at Tony Storm. Tony Storm was like a hot cat, and she moved directly out the way very quickly. And Mina ended up blasting Mariah May, and things initially broke down in a twisted turn. It was basically like Mariah May sold it very well when it came to the initial bottle spot, and things continued to progress as we lean up towards that initial women's match, as they both were trying to look on and see how Mariah was doing, of course, with the officials being involved and breaking things down. But it was a guy's nice little seat when it came to everything that I initially enjoyed when it came to that initial segment. Things are gonna be red hot when it comes to where Mariah May stands when it comes to this following Sunday for Forbidden Door. But we know it's gonna be entertaining because Mariah knows how to entertain us, and I look forward to seeing where this progress of how things initially continue to fold leading up to this AEW's women's match. Then we get a video package from Mercedes Moné and as well as from Stephanie Vaquer face off when it comes to the title match, the TBS Championship versus the New Japan Strong Women's Championship on the line. So initially, it was a great little segment back and forth of them talking and basically going through the highlights and video package. And of course, Mercedes had a whole lot to say, as I quote. She talked about when she be in here on Dynamite, while Vaquer is not. But before turning her attention to Collision, while the New Japan Strong Women's Champion is in action, she tells Stephanie to enjoy her final days as champion before Forbidden Door, because Monet is changing everything. So I just look forward to seeing how things continue to progress when it comes to Mercedes. Mercedes continue to be a game changer, but initially as she continue to develop, I kind of feel like she get a little bit lackluster this past few times when it comes to her title reign. I feel like she's still finding her groove initially now after she came back from an injury. But initially, we shall see how this second actual official match of her being involved in AEW comes to a permission. But I look forward initially for this women's action to really be hard hitting. Of course, we're going to have an implement of strong style when it comes to the New Japan style. And of course, these ladies are going to leave it all in the ring. And hopefully it doesn't be a botched match, but hopefully it actually keep us entertained and you'll actually not have us have it on as a piss break when it comes to this initial match. Then with things initially switched gears over to the ringside as we get ready for the Chris Jericho's learning tree. We already know how we feel about this. I feel like this is like a lackluster stable, but it's all good for what it was. The segment pretty much was all right for what it was, for my own personal hot take. Chris Jericho heads to the ring alongside with the students of Big Bill, the Redwood, and of course Brian Keith, who continue to keep it be a hidden gem when it comes to initially everything, as he was selling an arm injury when he was having his arm initially in a sling. And Jericho gets on the mic. Of course, the highlight was when he called Samoa Joe Samoa Joke, and so much more things initially had broke down when it came to this initial segment. But of course, things initially became information when Jericho was trying to get a replacement of Minoru Suzuki, but Suzuki wasn't having that whatsoever. He wasn't feeling this initial new tag team whatsoever. He wasn't feeling the learning tree. He initially just wanted a match for the FTW Championship at Forbidden Door against Chris Jericho. Jericho looked as shocked, but I wonder how things initially going to continue to fold as Samoa Joe initially got involved as well, came out to interrupt and kind of pissed Jericho off. Jericho slapped him, and they initially ended up into a brawl. Maybe initially we'll have more updates, and maybe they make it a triple threat of Samoa Joe, Minoru Suzuki, and Chris Jericho, or they'll just hold off on Jericho with Samoa Joe and just having a straightforward with Minoru Suzuki, but it leaves Samoa Joe directly off the card. But initially, from my own take, the learning tree is all right. It's just very mid, from my own personal opinion. When it comes to Minoru Suzuki, though, he has shown himself each and every single time he's been a part of the AEW, and he's left nothing unturned, and he's always keep everybody on the edge of their seat, or they keep them eyes glued when it comes to the television. When it comes to Samoa Joe, he continues to be dominant, continues to be that mentor to Samoa to Hook, and as well as having Shibata involved. But when Shibata is involved, when it comes to him having that translator phone, you know you just got to get a laugh out of it when it comes to Shibata. I enjoy everything when it comes to Shibata, but Shibata doesn't even have to do pure language. But when it comes to his in-ring style skills, you know you're going to get your money's worth just in general when it comes to Shibata. Then we switch gears over to the ringside to get ready for the next following match. As we get ready for Zack Sabre Jr., who initially makes his entrance out. And out next comes Gabe Kidd from Bullet Club War Dogs to hang out with the Undisputed Kingdom. Of course, he initially is there in the crowd. And then, of course, we get ready for that lovely match of Kyle O'Reilly versus Zack Sabre Jr. This initially was a 4.2 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this match. This match was a lot of back and forth, hard-hitting technical wrestling, suplexes, hard chops, kicks under the sun. Everything initially was dragged out, and Kyle O'Reilly really showed himself when it came to not only the technical style, working the legs, really just picking apart this match. Zack Sabre Jr. as well is somebody you don't want to sleep on the technical side. But it was a really great back and forth transition, and I really enjoyed everything about this match. And I have no complaints when it comes to those two really get it on. I will actually love to see Zack Sabre and Kyle O'Reilly go at it again eventually in the near future when Zack Sabre is really ready to make that leap over to AEW. I know it will be coming initially soon. Once initially his New Japan contract ends up, he'll initially be making his way to America because he's either going to AEW or he's initially making his way back to the E. But initially, Zack Sabre did win with a lovely submission by making Kyle O'Reilly initially tap out. And it was a great, nice key lock to initially put him away and make him submit. But things initially heated up once we really got everything initially broke down when it came to the post-match, as we had TDMK, Gabe Kidd, Orange Cassidy, so many big players on the field, as well as Tomohiro Ishii. He came out and initially got involved, and they all had a stare down, a shove off. Undisputed Kingdom got involved. I feel like Undisputed Kingdom still feel lost. I don't know what's going on with that whole situation. I feel like they were on top of things, and then initially they just flatlined. And I've been highly disappointed with the way how they've been carrying the Undisputed Kingdom. Especially there's no really initial backstory or key thing when it comes to Warlow and the whole Adam Cole situation, as well as the Undisputed Kingdom. The rest of them are initially just feel flatline. Roderick Strong, after he lost the championship, he just haven't been the same. The tag team Ring of Honor tag team champions, man, it is what it is. They are okay for what it is, from my own personal opinion. But I just feel like it's just very mid, from my personal opinion. Then we initially get ready for the main event of the night. Of course, you already know Mark Henry's favorite line. It's time for that Wednesday night main event. But initially, things initially broke down as Swerve Strickland made his way out, as well as Will Ospreay. And they took on the Gates of Agony, who came out in their tribal outfits, which was a nice little feat of them kind of tweaking their persona a little bit, but highly keeping us invested each and every single week. Then things initially broke down when it came to the Gates of Agony. Initially rushed on the champions. Initially got the match underway. A lot of back and forth. Initially, they controlled majority match, but things initially was like straight hard hitting. Everybody was able to get off their signature moves, but they truly kept us highly invested throughout the whole entire peak of the match. Of course, we had a picture-in-picture involved as well when it came to initial commercial breaks. A nice spots from Will Ospreay, keeping us highly invested. But things initially was nice when it came to how things from the ending of the match, when a hidden blade was nailed by Will Ospreay, while Swerve kept Khan at bay for the pinfall for the 1, 2, 3. But the post match was the initial talk of the whole entire thing. Was things initially broke down when they were celebrating, and things were a little bit getting out of hand as they initially got their prospective championships. And then when Swerve was initially leaving, Will Ospreay grabbed the championship, but Swerve wasn't playing his games. He let them know that was the last time he was gonna grab his championship and disrespect him. So when he had and hit him with the house call, it was a beautiful chef kiss, and I enjoyed everything about what Swerve did. He laid him out, even though he knows that's his friend, but he just was straight up all business. But I enjoyed this whole entire card of AEW Dynamite. It was a decent one for what it was. But I'd like to know from you guys' personal opinion. Post your comments down below and let me know what you felt about this initial whole entire show. And then what is your notable excited match that you're looking forward to? If you're in the CA or able to comment, let's chop it up and talk professional wrestling post show. But until then, I appreciate you guys coming through to show your love and support. But y'all be safe, and I'm out. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.